Welcome to Coach Business, the podcast with your host and today mother, a mom, Caryn Gillen. I am submitting this audio for Lorianne Murabito's podcast. She is a speaking genius and coach and speaks all over the place. She's a fantastic human being. And I thought, I should probably share this here too, because I don't usually talk very much about being a mom and what that means as a coach and a business owner. So I'm going to take her questions that I'm submitting over for her Mother's Day series that I'll share with you when it comes out. And I am going to answer them for all of us. So, Lorianne, thank you for the inspiration. I appreciate you. And listen in for the answers to the rest of your questions. So, first of all, who am I and what do I do and how do I help? I'm Caryn Gillen, and I am a life coach, a business coach, and I've been doing that for 15 years. I've been supporting small businesses for over 30 years. And what I do is I help people understand who they are in business and create businesses that reflect that so that they don't have to recover from them. So I work with a lot of coaches and I help them get their businesses off the ground or refine businesses that have been feeling a little squirrely to them and really help them create sustainability in their practice. When I think about the biggest challenge of balancing motherhood and running a business, I think a lot about time and energy because when you have a business, you have something that is always your responsibility, that always is reflecting you, and that you're always on for, right? There's a consistency to being a business owner that you just don't have when you're working a job for someone else. And the same thing is true with parenting. When you have a child, an infant, a toddler, a kid, an adult child, I don't have any of those yet, but someday I plan to. But they're always on too. It's really one of the most consistently taxing experiences I have ever had in my life. So, in that way, they're similar and they both require a high level from us, and they both are pretty unforgiving. So, if you really phone it in on your parenting, you're going to feel that, and your kid's going to feel that. And it's not going to be okay, at least not for very long. And the same is true for our businesses, right? So I think that in itself is confronting and just something that you're always aware of the consistent both support and drain that it is to be someone holding space for both a developing child and a developing company. You've asked about sharing a moment when I felt like I was failing at both and how I turned things around. I mean, I think I don't have like a big failure that stands out in my mind, but I will say that there have been times where it feels like there's no winning. And I mean, I'm a life coach, so I kind of have a weird relationship with failure anyway. Like it almost doesn't exist for me because I'm like, oh, learned a lot, moving forward, taking that with me, right? Got new knowledge, understand more than I ever did before. I've got this, right? So there's kind of a mindset thing where I don't actually think about failure. I think about growing. And so if I talk about where I've had the growth chances at the highest level with both my parenting and my business at the same time, I think it comes down to energy. Like if I don't take great care of myself, I really can't show up and do both of those other jobs very well. And if I do that for a consistent amount of time, if I put myself and my physical body, if I throw myself under the bus essentially for long enough, it will start to show up in my kids' behavior and in my business's behavior. And when you see that happening and you're already tanked yourself, it's a bit of a reckoning, right? Because then you're like, okay, not only do I have to right the ship on my own energy or my body or whatever's going on for me, I have to do so while also bringing these other two things up. It's a big job. I mean, I only had one kid for a reason. And for me, that was like, I don't know that energetically I can do more than one, at least not in the way I want to do this life. So, yeah, it's always that energy balance. So, one non negotiable boundary that I've set that helps me maintain balance, I think it's honesty. I'm honest with my daughter. She's 9, she's almost 10. So, this works probably better now than ever before. But I say what I need and I say what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. So, I think there's an opportunity when you're parenting to share the understanding that you have of your business and what's going on for it with your child. I think people do it when they have jobs. They might do it in ways of saying, like, oh, my boss is not reasonable, blah, blah, blah is happening. These expectations are too high. Or they might have a great boss that they talk about in amazing ways. I think I have to do the same about myself and about the company that I'm creating and running and constantly dancing with. Right. So I'm unwilling to not talk about what I'm up to because I want people to understand. I want the people who live with me to understand some of what it's like out here. I think it can be really isolating to sit in a room by yourself and run a business that's invisible, right? I'm coaching all these people and no one ever sees it but them, and we don't go publicly talking about it. It's pretty confidential, right? And so when I can be transparent, I like to be. So that's a boundary that I have of just sharing. So if I could go back, what's one piece of advice that I'd give myself before starting my business as a mom? Well, my story started long before I was a mom. Last month, I've been in business for 15 years and I have an almost 10-year-old. And after I had her, I had that 3-month maternity leave where you get put on disability for 3 months, basically, because we live in the United States and don't really give people maternity leave. Um, and as I was sitting in a chair with this tiny baby butt in my hand and her on my shoulder, I had this very clear realization that this business cannot be a hobby anymore. I don't have time for that. So it was just like, boom, the entire landscape of my time and energy changed just like that the moment she arrived. And I was working for a company at the time. I always had my coaching practice on the side. This is, I think, well, obviously, this was about 10 years ago. And from that moment, I used my maternity leave to really ramp my business up because it was so clear to me that I wasn't going to be able to have both anymore. I wasn't going to be able to play around in business and also have a job while also parenting a child. So when my daughter was 2, I left that company and have worked for myself solo ever since. So it took me a while to go from having this newborn baby and a job and building up to be ready to have my business be ready to leave while I was the only breadwinner in the family at that time. So when I think about my best tip for other moms who dream of starting or growing a business, I think it's buy yourself some runway. So whatever you're going to do, if you're going to start a business, you're going to need to know ahead of time, how much money do I need to support me comfortably every single month and support my business every single month. So if you know that you need $5,000 a month, both to give yourself some cash and to support your business for whatever it has, any needs it has, then how many months runway do you want to have set aside so that you can leave your job and feel safe? Because one of the things that I see that cuts off people's creativity the most is feeling insecure about revenue, not knowing where their money's going to come from. And then all of a sudden they're in such a needy space and they're trying to get their business to be an ATM for them long before their business is ready. What we're doing right now in business is going to show up in revenue in about 6 months. You need time to do that. So, I mean, I would say at a minimum, have 6 months of money that you need set aside. There are certain instances where people have huge networks and they're going from one professional line of work into a similar one, like moving straight over into consulting, and you probably don't need that much. You're going to be able to hit the ground running. But if you're ending one thing and starting a very new thing, it's going to take time. No matter how great you are, you could be like the best coach in the world, you're still going to need some runway. So have some money set aside so that you can feel safe enough to be creative, because the thing that's going to help your business the most is you being grounded and calm and able to come up with new ideas and serve people. All right. I just want to say hats off to all of you who are running a business at the same time as you're running a family. They are the two most consistent jobs that don't ever turn off, that I think exists on the entire planet. So I see you there doing the hard things, and I appreciate you. All right, everyone, thanks for being here. It was fun to talk to you about mothering, um, right here on this Mother's Day. Have a good rest of your day.